For those of you who don't know, we're an international nutritional ingredients and cheese group headquartered in Kilkenny with over 4,000 employees, 4,500 if you include our joint ventures. We have key operations which I'll talk about in US cheese and global nutritionals, our Dairy Ireland business, which effectively our Irish businesses, our dairy ingredients, including our flagship Ballyraggett site. I'll talk about that later as well. Our consumer products division and our agribusiness. And we have a number of joint ventures which I'll talk about internationally as well. We're listed on the Stock Exchange, London and Irish Stock Exchange. We have a turnover of about 2.1 billion and a market capitalisation today of around 1 billion. So I suppose the map often tells a better story than the words. We operate in 15 countries. Our international organisation has 17 manufacturing sites, 19 sales offices in 15 countries, and that excludes nearly 70 locations in Ireland if you include the retail branches of our agribusiness. We process around 5 billion litres of milk, and our Ballyraggett factory is a significant one, and that processes around 1.4 billion. I'll talk again about that later on. We produce around 440,000 tonnes of cheese and 223,000 tonnes of dairy and ingredient products, a lot of that coming out of our Irish factories as well, and exported to 50 countries worldwide. And all that's underpinned by 2 innovation centres that we operate out of Kilkenny and out of Idaho, the Twin Falls, Idaho office. So, you know, we're a large organisation. Like any organisation, like any business, whether they be an individual, small business, large businesses, we have a challenging environment as well. Challenging global markets, economic and global dairy markets. There's a lot of uncertainty around it. We're operating in an environment where skim milk powder, fat-filled milk powder has fluctuated between €3,400 a tonne down to €1,800 a tonne, and now back to 2,400. So you need to be flexible and be able to react to those dynamics. But we operate with global food opportunities. You know, the changing demographics and increased dairy consumption present tremendous opportunities for us, and I have a slide later on that talks a little bit about where the opportunity rests for Glanbia. The deregulation of the EU dairy regime is a new growth opportunity for Ireland, and obviously for Kilkenny and for Ballyraggett, and we hope and are well positioned to play in that particular space. Obviously it needs to, like anything, be commercially sound and built on a solid business case, and that's their discussions, their reviews we're having at the moment to see how we will react to quota liberalisation in 2015, which would present tremendous opportunities for indigenous Irish food industry and our company. We do need to be flexible, and you know, a lot of tough stuff has had to be done in our organisation over the last number of years, and in Ireland as well. But that's all to underpin the jobs in Kilkenny and in Ireland, and to make sure that we're fit for purpose and that we're able to do the right thing and be ready to react and be nimble and flexible. And all that, as I say, is supported by innovation. And I'll talk a little bit about Kilkenny and that spirit of innovation and creativity that underpins some of our business as well. This is just, I suppose, a slide to illustrate opportunity. Today, 6.2 billion metric tonnes of global food consumption, growing to 12 billion in 2050. So it's about the positivity, thinking positively, and us playing in that space. And that's where we're clearly focused as an organisation and as individuals. The population today, as you can see, 6.5 billion growing to 7.6 billion. Huge growth in the rest of the world, modest growth in the developed world. And as population grows, increased urbanisation, increased incomes, growing middle class, dairy consumption will grow, and that's where we intend to be playing in that particular space. This, I suppose, is our business model. The global cheese and dairy ingredients business is at the bottom of, we'll say, this pyramid, really. You know, we export a lot of product, we make a lot of product. If I go back at an interesting story, if you look at the whey ingredients there, 15 years ago, whey was a dirty word. It was a cost to the business. But significant investment. Whey now has become, whey was the byproduct of casein and cheese. Now cheese and casein could be argued to be the byproduct of whey, because we've brought that up the value chain into in customized solution and ingredient markets. And then driving on to nutritional ingredients. We've invested in a business, 315 million in 2008, in a performance nutrition business, which takes us up to vertically integrated, I suppose, to use the fancy term about it. But we're selling whey ingredients into the performance nutrition business, and we went in and bought a business there and play in that space with the consumer now, providing performance nutrition products to those consumers. So what do we have? We have a focus on international scale, leading technologies, and growth markets. And as you can see there, some of our growth markets, we have a premix. We bought a German premix, infant formula premix facility in Germany, and we replicated that plant in Suzhou in China to provide product into the growing infant formula sector there in those markets. So just to talk a little bit about the three different businesses or divisions that we have. US Cheese and Global Nutritionals, we're the #1 producer of American-style cheese. We produce about 340,000 tons in the US between our Idaho and Clovis, New Mexico plants. We're the number one global supplier of whey protein. And our three nutritional businesses are dairy-derived ingredients. That's the whey byproduct simply sold into customers. Customized solution is our premix business into the infant formula. And then we have the sports nutrition business, which I've just described how that evolved. We were selling whey into that business, and we said, well, why don't we play in that space? We have consumer branded experience, so why don't we move into that space? And again, the innovation agenda is hugely important to Glanbia as an organisation. And we have a number of international joint ventures as well. Southwest Cheese in Clovis, New Mexico. Just to give you a little story on that one, we've built a business there from 2005. It produced 141,000 tons. It processes currently 11 million pounds of milk per day. And that factory produces now the same amount of cheese, or has the capacity to, as our entire Idaho operation, our Ballyragget facility. And that's been built from the ground up since 2005. The Idaho business, we got involved in it in 1988, and obviously the Ballyragget facility has been around for a long time. So that's the sort of can-do attitude that you can drive on, see the opportunity and build something in a short space of time. We have a mozzarella joint venture with Leprino Foods in the US, and we have a Nutricima business in Nigeria, which is a joint venture with PZ Cousins, which I'm directly involved in myself. A huge opportunity there, emerging middle class, increased dairy consumption. And we've built a factory there, and we've merged with a partner who brings sales and commercial capability on the ground. So at home, three main businesses. Dairy Ingredients Ireland. That's the flagship of that business is our Ballyragget facility. It processes 1.4, well, the combined Irish business, 1.4 billion litres. So a significant facility, 26% of the Irish milk pool. That's the Ballyragget facility, which is here in Kilkenny. That's going to be at the forefront of any development as quotas get liberalised. So there's huge opportunity there. It's the largest integrated dairy facility in Europe, and it's something we're very proud of, and the people of Kilkenny can be particularly proud of as well. We have a consumer product business with some of the leading brands in Ireland. Our Avonmore brand is the #2 brand. It's the #2 brand in the country, and we have an agri-business which provides feed and fertiliser and farm inputs to our farmer suppliers. So Kilkenny, and that's what today is about, Invest Kilkenny. We have over 500 employees across all our businesses. So it isn't just a headquartered business here. We have a dairy ingredients plant in Ballyragget, as I've spoken about, a flagship plant. We have our soup plant. We have our tucked away here in Kilkenny. We have an innovation centre, a hive of innovation there supporting our business. We have our agribusiness branches. So Kilkenny is a place that attracts and retains key talent. And maybe flicking on to the next slide, it's a culture of innovation here. There's a winning culture, a competitive culture. And a lot of people, Brian has probably been sick of referred to today, but we're sponsors of the Kilkenny team. You know, massive success. And that's what Kilkenny brings. It brings a culture of innovation, but competitiveness and success. And that's the kind of winning mentality that can make Kilkenny successful and drive on. We've talked about the connectivity to Dublin and Bellevue Port. It's a fantastic quality of life. I came here in '98 with the Avonmore, or with the Glanbia group. from the States via Limerick, and it's a fantastic place to live. It attracts high quality people. We have all the facilities nearby, and I think people should understand that internationally, customers, employees, they want to come here. When we say we were having a conference or meetings or strategy plan reviews, they love coming to Kilkenny. Where else can you come into a city, walk out of any of the hotels and have a facility like the Castle Park here? Fantastically maintained, and you don't have that anywhere in the world, not to mind in Ireland. So I think that's something the people of Kilkenny can build on and grow on, and I wouldn't underestimate it, because our international employees and our customers love coming here and like to be associated with Kilkenny. So that's it overall. I mean, we have a very positive experience. I just wish Joe and the team the best of luck. I think I'd echo Terry and other speakers' view. We need to be positive. We have a very successful organisation that we're extremely proud of, and we expect to drive on despite the difficulties and challenges, and there are a lot of them, and we're doing a lot of tough stuff, but it's in a positive environment where we want to be successful, and we will be successful. And I think that's the message we'll be giving out today, and we'll give to anyone who wants to come and ask us about our experience. It'll be extremely positive. It's a place to be proud of, and we're happy to be headquartered and operating out of Kilkenny. Okay, thank you.